Kamen Rider is a very creative series that delves into all types of themes, from technology to monsters from a mirror dimension to even fruits. Yeah. And of course, being such a popular show, it has a large fan base that stretches all across the world. And of course, having a large fan base like that means there's going to be quite a lot of creative people in it who will maybe come up with their own stories, maybe their own characters, and just new ideas in general. So today I thought it would be a really cool idea for me to go through a couple Kamen Rider fan-made OCs from Kamen Rider Amino. However, I'm not going to be doing this video on my own. Let me introduce...
Good morning, everyone. Marcos here. Yeah.
So yeah, today we're going to be having a look at some Kamen Rider Amino OCs and sort of giving our opinion on them, maybe a bit of criticism, and yeah, hope you enjoy.
The first fan-made idea that really grabbed me was Kamen Rider Victory by... Victory. Hayate Daiko is a veterinarian who fights against Shocker as a side job. Being a veterinarian is unique, but the Shocker angle is probably a bit too much for me. I think it's supposed to be a different sect of Shocker called the Reflect Army, but it wasn't all that clear to me. Although I really love the callbacks to Ichigo and Nigo or Showa era in general, whereas Henshin just has arm movements like, you know, the Rider, Henshin, or something, I don't know. That was actually the first time I did that, believe it or not. What really interested me the most is that he's called Kamen Rider Victory. The word victory just sounds so grand, like Ultraman victory. Although my most favorite aspect beyond that is the art. Having art like this gives major bonus points for me. It looks so good. The design reminds me of Zeto and J with an added V to the forehead and scarf. Keep up the good work.
So the first OC I will be talking about is Kamen Rider Install by Detective End. In the year 2029, where Kamen Rider is considered fiction, app-like monsters known as glitches have begun to appear. Ken Kaizaki, a shy boy in his last year of high school, fights as Kamen Rider Install, unknown to the characters as the White Vigilante, while working alongside an organization known as SetCorp to fight the glitches and find out who is causing them to appear and how to stop them. I really like the idea of the main rider Install being still in high school, as in an idea that we don't see much in Kamen Rider, maybe aside from Fourze, and it just kind of brings home a very relatable vibe. Like, it feels very anime, but in a kind of good way. Well, I'm not really personally all too big on the whole mobile phone theme, say like the monsters being apps and the forms as well, but other than that, it really does have a lot of creativity put into it. Like, the drawing of Install looks really nice, and I would love to see more detailed drawings of, say, like his changer, which is a brace that's like almost like a smartphone on his wrist. But yeah, keep up the good work.
While I enjoy OCs from already pre-established seasons, I do enjoy the original idea from their own quote-unquote seasons. In 2041, the continents were divided into 3 kingdoms with magic, space energy, and technology. Then people started being corrupted and have their souls taken over, transforming them into monsters. Hiroto Akihiko becomes Kamen Rider Techno to fight this new threat. I already love the technology angle since I'm a sucker for those kinds of stories. Like, what if technology bad or corrupted, then Hero comes to fight it using their own tech? This OC by... I'll just put their Amino profile here. This OC has a really neat transformation gimmick where they have capsules for transforming and their arsenal, which are drawn here for your convenience. Yep, that's techno alright. It's a great aesthetic and the weapon themselves are pretty cool. There's even a cool looking claw shot. The rider himself looks sleek and I love the colors. Alright, on to the next one.
Next up is Kamen Rider Nexus by Cross Contrast. There exists a place known as the Fusion Dimension, parallel to our own, where monsters and creatures roam called fusion beasts. However, 5 years ago, someone tempered with the temporally shifts, causing them to appear in our world. Some caused chaos, but some gave aid to the humans. To combat the destructive fusion beasts, a rider system was created using human tech and fusion beast minds. He managed to maintain the balance between the two worlds, but when the threat seemed to have stopped, he disappeared, leaving the world to be attacked once again. Now his sister Sonya must take up the role and continue the fight as Kamen Rider Nexus. The concept itself, with the two worlds colliding and monsters merging from one to the other, I think is a really cool idea. I love the idea how the main character isn't the original rider, as someone else fought before her, which is one of the parts of Hibiki that I really loved. I really loved the idea of the disciples learning from the master and then taking over as that rider. The suit itself has a pretty nice look to it. It has a very cool blend of orange and blue, and it works quite nicely. The thing I would like to see is a little more detail on, say, the belt, her forms, and just kind of like how everything kind of works. And I would love to see a bit more about the second rider, Labyrinth, that is mentioned, but I don't think you've actually done a wiki on it yet. But if I'm wrong, then feel free to show me it later on.
Kamen Rider Imperial. That word alone gives this sense of grandeur, just like victory. With Imperial's extensive backstory, it just gets even better. Aristotle was the leader of a platoon during a war between kingdoms. He fell in battle but made a deal with the death god Thanatos to return, but this time as Kamen Rider Imperial. I enjoy the God of War vibe along with the darker style. The Henshin device reminds me a bit of Gaim, and the design for the rider looks really cool. His alignment is towards being more of an anti-hero, and the suit certainly looks like he wouldn't be a virtuous protagonist. The edgy colors and backstory may not be for everyone, but I personally enjoy it.
So after Marcos mentioning Thanatos in the previous OC Imperial, now we're going to have a look at Kamen Rider Thanatos. Brandon King is a normal student about to attend Minerva University in Japan when on his first day his father gave him a strange looking watch and a key with a scythe imprinted on it. He didn't know what to make of it at first, but after putting on the watch, Thanatos, the Greek god of death, appeared before him and told him of the titans that threatened the world before bonding with him. Now Brandon must fight against the ferocious titans as Kamen Rider Thanatos. I really enjoy the idea of a rider being based on the Greek gods, as Greek mythology has always been one of my favourites. The suit itself looks quite nice, and I love the additions of purple and black in it, although honestly I'm really not much of a fan on the whole death god thing, as it comes off as a little bit edgy for my taste. Like having his equipment called like the Death Driver and say like the Deadly Reaper just kind of comes off as a bit too much, but that's only my personal opinion, so if you like it then that's fair to you.
To me, one of the most interesting things you can do with an OC is put them into an already pre-established world. A well-made OC would follow the rules or technology within that world to create something new that fits. Here's Kaguya Taros by Rem. I'll refer to them as they since Kaguya Taros has different genders or not at all, which is already pretty unique. As you can probably tell from the name, they're a Taros OC from Kamen Rider Dan-O. Their story starts during the events of the Dan-O movie, when a shrine they were living in got destroyed. Now Kaguya Taros is out to steal Henshin devices to fight back. However, one incident with time travel sent them through the multiverse with alternate versions, hence the different genders and such. Once again, the art alone was given huge bonus points. I'm really impressed by the work they put into it. There's a chibi version in the image and anime style, here's another adorable version, and this one. Am I allowed to show that? Even if the images are from other anime or manga, I like the style chosen for this character and I'd like to see more fan art of them, since they have a lot of potential. Oh wait, there's even a fan-made standby jingle? People, please get on this. It's really good. More fan art please, and more of this.
So like Marcos just talked about adding a new rider to say a previous season, I'm really a fan of that as well. So next up is Kamen Rider Sparta. In an alternate timeline where both humans and Orphanok have learned to coexist, led by Smart Brain. However, not everyone has adjusted to this way, and some Orphanoks still want to be the dominant species, with another Smart Brain remnant faction led down that path. Kazuma serves under the Smart Brain remnant, who wants to protect the peace between humanity and Orphanok, and in order to hunt down the renegade Orphanok that threaten this way of life, he becomes Kamen Rider Sparta. I like the concept of this rider because it doesn't just focus the entire story just on him, as he's more of just a side character, like an addition to all the other riders in the story of Phase. The design of the suit is also quite nice too. Although it is mostly a copy of the original Phase suit, the green on it does look very good, and the helmet design looks pretty nice. He even has separate drawings of his equipment, like his weapon and his bike, which has its own little animation, which is really nice.
Thank you, Sentai Guy, for letting me on. I've always been wondering why it took so long to have a crossover, but hey, I enjoyed my time here, I enjoyed looking at OCs, and I love working on this stuff too, so with all that being said, see ya!
Honestly, I'm not really too sure why I've never asked you in the past before, but I really enjoyed doing this one, and I'm looking forward to any future projects that we have in mind. And I'm afraid that's all we got time for today, as I didn't want to make it overly long like my Q&A was. Really sorry if I didn't include your OC that you submitted to the Amino post, but if this video does do well, then I'd be glad to do another one and include all the ones that I missed. But with that being said, thank you all for watching, and goodbye.